Hello students. In today's class, I am going to discuss most important repeated questions in NEET exams for the chapter Electrochemistry. So, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel and share it with your contacts. Okay, let me discuss question number 1 in electrochemistry. Which cell measured standard electrode potential of copper electrode? So here we know that standard electrode potential of copper electrode can be calculated by constructing a concentration cell that is composed of two half cell reactions in which concentration of species on left hand side and right hand side are unity. So I will take option C. So here if you take option C, it is platinum since solid state, then dihydrogen gas is liberated and H plus ions are there in 1 molar aqueous HCl solution, and this electrode is considered as a reference electrode, that is standard hydrogen electrode. Then 2 bars, here we have to represent only single bar, then 2 bars, then Cu2 plus, it is present in aqueous solution, it is of concentration 1 molar, then copper is the electrode. So if you are calculating any of the standard electrode potential value, means that particular electrode or that particular metal with its 1 molar concentration electrolytic solution has to be coupled with a standard hydrogen electrode. So option C is the correct for question number 1. Then, so here the electrode potential for magnesium electrode varies according to the equation, that is E Mg2 plus bar Mg, that is equal to E naught Mg2 plus bar Mg minus 0.059 divided by 2 log 1 by Mg2 plus, that is concentration of Mg2 plus ion. The graph of E Mg2 plus bar Mg versus log concentration of Mg2 plus is. So here, first I will write the electrode potential for magnesium, that electrode varies according to the equation, as we have an equation, and if you consider Emg2 plus bar Mg, which is equal to 0.059 divided by 2 log concentration of Mg2 plus E naught Mg2 plus bar Mg. So here I have applied like log A by B, which is equal to log A minus log B. And if you rearrange the equation, you will get the simplified equation like this. And this equation that represents the equation of a straight line. Hence, the intercept C, which is considered as E naught Mg2 plus bar Mg. And the slope, that is equal to 0.059 divided by 2. Thus, for the equation can be diagrammatically represented like, so here we can consider Emg2 plus bar Mg versus log concentration of Mg2 plus, and here the graph obtained is like this. We have a straight line. So the correct option is option B. It's the correct one. Question number 3. Which of the following statement is correct? So first I will read all the equations, correct statements. E cell and delta Rg of cell reaction both are extensive properties. Option B is E cell and delta Rg of cell reaction both are intensive property. E cell is an extensive property while delta Gr of cell reaction is an extensive property. E cell is an extensive property while delta Rg of cell reaction is an intensive property. So we know that E cell, that is EMF of a cell or cell potential, it is an intensive property. What is meant by intensive property? It's nothing but it is independent of the mass of the species. But if you consider delta Rg, what is meant by delta Rg? It is nothing but change in Gibbs free energy for the reaction. So it's an extensive property. Then what is meant by extensive property? It's nothing but the property which depends upon the mass of the species. So that for question number 3, it's option C. Question number 4. The difference between the electrode potentials of two electrodes when no current is drawn through the cell is called. So, which is nothing but a cell EMF. Because a cell EMF or EMF of a cell is the difference between the electrode potential of two electrodes when no current is drawn through the cell, which is just the definition of cell EMF. So, for question number 4, it's option B. Then, 5th question. Which of the following statement is not correct about an inert electrode in a cell? So, here, inert electrode does not participate in redox reaction and which acts only as a source or sink for the electrons. So, it provides a surface either for oxidation or for the reduction reaction. So that for question number 5, it's option D, which provides surface for redox reaction, which means either for redox reaction, reduction or for oxidation. Question number 6. An electrochemical cell can behave like an electrolytic cell when? So you know that here, if an external opposite potential, if an external opposite potential is applied on the galvanic cell and increased slowly, it is observed that the reaction continues to take place till the opposing voltage reaches the value 1.1 volt, because we know that EMF of a cell for galvanic or voltaic cell, which is equal to 1.1 volt. So if the externally applied electric potential, if it reaches to the value 1.1 volt, so at this stage, no current flows through the cell. Then any further increase in the external potential restarts the reaction, but which takes place in opposite direction. Hence, the cell will behave like an electrolytic cell. So for question number 6, it's option C, that is E external, that is electrode potential of an external which is greater than EMF of a cell. So for question number 6, it's option C. Then question number 7. Which of the statements about solutions of electrolytes is not correct? So conductivity of solution depends upon the size of ions. So it's the correct statement. Conductivity depends upon the viscosity of the solution, Absolutely, this one is also correct statement. Then conductivity does not depends upon a solvation of ions present in the solution. So he has given the wrong statement, like, because conductivity depends upon the solvation or ionization of ions present in the solution. So let me consider its option C. Then option D, conductivity of solution increase with temperature. Absolutely, because if we increase the temperature, movement of ions increases, so that conductivity of solution also increases. So among the given option C is incorrect, because greater the solvation of ions of an electrolyte, lesser will be the electrical conductivity of the solution. So which depends on the solvation of ions. Question number 8. Using the data given below, find out the strongest reducing agent. So how can we find out the strongest reducing agent? By the given reactions, or by the given E naught value. So here, among the given options, chromium has the highest negative value of E naught. So highest negative value of E naught is given for chromium. That is minus 0.74 volt. So it is the most strongest reducing agent. Strongest reducing agent. So which is discussed in that standard reduction potential or electrochemical series. So if you are remembering the electrochemical series and those instructions what given in electrochemical series are the node points, so you can easily predict which of the reaction or which of the metal acts as the strongest reducing agent, or which elements acts as the strongest oxidizing agent. So in electrochemical series, so fluorine or fluoride, fluorine acts as the strongest oxidizing agent, and lithium ion or lithium metal that acts as a strongest reducing agent. In overall, I'm talking about the overall electrochemical series. But in this given data, chromium that has highest negative potential value, so that it acts as strongest reducing agent. So for question number 8, it's option B, chromium. Then question number 9. Use the data given in question number 8 and find out which of the following is the strongest oxidizing agent. Okay, here in this question they have given use the data given in question number 8. Okay, among this given data, so we know that higher the positive value of standard reduction potential of metal ion, higher will be its oxidizing capacity. So that in the given data, if you consider E naught of MnO4 minus bar Mn2 plus, so which is having highest positive value of E naught. So here we can observe among the given data, E naught of MnO4 minus bar Mn2 plus, that is having 1.51 volt. It is 1.51 volt, which is maximum among the given data. So that the correct option for question number 9 is C, which acts as a strongest oxidizing agent. And remember one more thing, in electrochemical series, if the species, if it consists of a negative standard reduction potential value, if it consists of negative standard reduction potential value which acts as a reducing agent, and if the same electrochemical series, in that electrochemical series, if the element that carries positive standard reduction potential value, then which acts as the strongest oxidizing agent. So remember this shortcut. Okay. Question number 10. Using the data given in question number 8, find out in which option the order of reducing power is correct. Okay. This question is also based on question number 8. So here they have asked to find out the order of reducing power in the given options. Okay, here Mn2 plus, which is having highest positive reduction potential value, that is 1.51 volt, which is greater than Cl minus, that is 1.36 volt, which is greater than Cr3 plus, that is 1.33 volt, which is greater than Cr minus, that is minus 0.74 volt. So that in that given option, okay, here we have option B, Mn2 plus, that is having highest positive SRP value, hence it acts as a weaker reducing agent because it acts as a stronger oxidizing agent. And Cl minus is, okay, here they have given in the mixed order like Cl minus, then Cr3 plus, which is lesser than Cr, that is Cr minus. So option B is the correct one because on moving down in electrochemical series, reducing power decreases as the value of electrode potential increases. Question number 11. Use the data given in question number 8 and find out the most stable ion in its reduced form. So it is easily predictable because we have discussed the strongest oxidizing agent in that given data. So the most stable ion in its reduced form is, it is Mn2 plus ion. So here E naught of MnO4 minus bar Mn2 plus, which has a highest positive SRP value in the given data. So Mn2 plus ion is the most stable ion among the given option, most stable ion among the given option in its reduced form. So for question number 11, it's option D. 12. So use the data of question number 8 and find out the most stable oxidized species. Okay. So it is also easily predictable because we have discussed the most reduced form or reduced state. Like here, if you consider E naught of Cr3 plus bar Cr, which has the lowest SRP value. Hence, Cr3 plus ion is the most stable oxidized species among the given options. So that for question number 12, it's option A. Then question number 13. The quantity of charge required to obtain 1 mole of aluminium from Al2O3 is. So we can write the ionic equation of Al3 plus. The quantity of charge required to obtain 1 mole of aluminium. You know that aluminium that carries 3 plus charge in aqueous form. So this is if we written in the equation form, you will get aluminium. So here the reduction takes place. Aluminium from its 3 plus oxidation state to aluminum from to 0 oxidation state. That means a plus 3 to 0 is nothing but decrease in oxidation state, which is nothing but reduction. So here they have asked the quantity of charge required to obtain 1 mole of aluminum, that is aluminum metal, from aluminum oxide. We know that Al2O3 in Al2O3 on dissociation, which gives Al3 plus O2 minus. So to balance this charges, we have to multiply with Al3 plus by 2 and O2 minus by 3. Then we'll get the neutral molecule Al2O3. And from Al3 plus ion, we can get Al, that is 1 mole of aluminum. Then what is the quantity of charge required here? So how many electrons are added to get aluminum? That is total 3 Faradays of charge are required to get 1 mole of aluminum. So for question number 13, it's option C, 3 Faradays of charge. 14, the cell constant of a conductivity cell. So changes with the change of electrolyte, changes with change of concentration of electrolyte, changes with the temperature of electrolyte, and remains constant for a cell. We know that. So the cell constant of a conductivity cell, that is G, which is considered as cell constant, which is L by A, where L is the length of an object and A, that is nothing but area of cross section. Since L and A remains constant for any particular object, hence the value of a cell constant always remains constant. So that for question number 14, the correct option is option D. 15. While charging the lead storage battery, PbSO4 anode is reduced to Pb, PbSO4 cathode is reduced to Pp, PbSO4 cathode is oxidized to Pb, PbSO4 anode is oxidized to PbO2. Okay. While charging the lead storage battery. Okay, when the lead storage battery is recharged or charged, the reaction occurring on cell is reversed and PbSO4 on anode and cathode is converted into Pb as well as PbO2 respectively. Then we'll write the electrode reactions. So first I will write cathodic cell reaction, that is PbSO4 plus 2H2O gives rise to PbO2 plus SO4 2 minus plus 4H plus 2 electron. So oxidation takes place here. Then I will write anodic cell reaction. PbSO4 plus 2 electron gives rise to Pb plus SO4 2 minus. So here a reduction takes place. And if you consider the net cell reaction, so the net cell reaction, I will write that 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2O gives rise to Pb plus PbO2 plus 4H plus 2SO4 2 minus. So for the question number 15, we can opt option A because PbSO4 anode is reduced to Pb. How we can say that? Here we can observe what is the oxidation state of Pb in PbSO4. So we know that on dissociation, which gives Pb2 plus 2SO, sorry, SO4 2 minus. So the oxidation state of Pb in PbSO4 is Pb2 plus, which is reduced to Pb. So here we can observe. And PbSO4 that acts as anode, and Pb2 plus ion that is reduced to Pb with zero oxidation state. So that for question number 15, it's option A. 16. So molar conductivity of NH4OH is equal to. So here we'll write the reactions like lambda m of NH4Cl is equal to lambda naught of NH4 plus lambda naught of Cl minus. So let me consider this as equation number 1. Similarly, lambda naught m of NaOH is written like lambda naught Na plus lambda naught of OH minus, and this as equation number 2. And lambda naught of NaCl, which is equal to lambda naught of Na plus lambda naught of Cl minus. This as equation number 3. And on adding equation 1 and 2 and subtract equation 3, we get the final equation like lambda m of NaH4Cl plus lambda naught of NaOH minus lambda naught m of NaCl, which is equal to lambda naught m of NH4OH. So for question number 16, it's option B. Lambda naught m of NH4Cl plus lambda naught m of NaOH minus lambda naught m of NaCl. So here they have given NCl instead of NaCl. Okay, so this gives lambda naught m of NH4OH. So the correct option for question number 16 is option B. 17. In the electrolysis of aqueous NaCl, the following reaction, like in the electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride, this solution, which of the half cell reaction will occur at anode? Okay, let me consider the electrolysis of a NaCl solution. So at anode, we can expect a Cl minus gives rise to half Cl2 plus electron, and E0 cell which is equal to 1.36 volt, and at cathode we can expect 2H2O gives rise to O2 plus 4H plus 4 electron, and the E0 cell for cathodic reaction is minus 1.23 volt, and the reaction at anode with the lower value of E0 is preferred, and therefore water should get oxidized in preference to Cl minus. However, on account of over potential of oxygen, reaction D is preferred. That is option D. Cl minus gives rise to half Cl2 plus electron. 18. A hydrogen gas electrode is made by dipping platinum wire in a solution of HCl of pH 10 and by passing hydrogen gas around the platinum wire at 1 atmospheric pressure. The oxidation potential of electrode would be, okay, for this we need to write the reaction like H2 gives rise to 2H plus 2 electron, and here the pressure maintained is 1 atmosphere and they have given the pH. So let me consider 10 power minus 10. Then EMF of H2 bar H plus, which is equal to 0 minus 0.059 divided by 2 into log concentration of 10 power minus 10 whole square divided by 1. And why I have considered 0 in place of E naught cell? Because E naught cell value of standard hydrogen electrode is 0. Then EH2 bar H plus, which is equal to, on simplifying this, you will get plus 0.59 volt. That is option A, 0.59 volt. Then question number 19. At 25 degrees Celsius, molar conductance of 0.1 molar aqueous solution of ammonium hydroxide is 9.54 ohm per ohm centimeter square per mole. And at infinite dilution, its molar conductance is 238 per ohm centimeter square per mole. The degree or ionization of ammonium hydroxide at the same concentration and temperature is. Okay, let me consider degree of dissociation. Alpha is lambda m divided by lambda m infinity, which is 9.54 divided by 238. So which gives 0.04008. And if you consider the percentage, because the options are given in percentage, and if you multiply this value with 100, you will get 4.008 percentage. So in the given option, the option B is correct. 20. A Barton cell used in watch functions as following. ZNS, that is zinc in solid state, plus Ag2O plus H2O gives rise to 2Ag plus Zn2 plus 2OH minus. If half cell potentials are Zn2 plus 2 electrons gives rise to Zn with E naught value minus 0.76 volt. Ag2O plus H2O plus 2 electron gives rise to 2Ag plus 2OH minus, and electron E naught value is 0.34 volt. Then the cell potential will be. So how can we find out cell potential? Which is just, we can use the formula E naught cell, which is equal to E naught of cathode minus E naught of anode. So here minus 0.76 volt, because at cathode we can expect reduction. So in this half cell potential, they have given Zn2 plus is reduced to Zn with zero oxidation state. Reduction takes place at cathode. So that minus 0.76 is considered as E naught cathode. And here at anode, Ag2O gives rise to 2Ag. So here oxidation takes place at anode, and we can consider value minus of 0.34. So which gives minus 1.10 volt. And if you multiply with the negative charge, you will get plus 1.10 volt. That is option D. #21. How many grams of cobalt metal will be deposited when a solution of cobalt 2 chloride is electrolyzed with a current of 10 amperes for 109 minutes? So the given 1 Faraday, which is equal to 96,500 coulombs, atomic mass of cobalt is 59, unified mass. Okay, here we know that W is equal to ZIT and EIT divided by 96,500. So you know that equivalent weight of cobalt, it is with 2 oxidation state, that is 59 by 2, and I, which is equal to 10 ampere. Then time 109 minute, that can be considered in seconds. 109 into 60 seconds. So substitute these values in that equation. W, which is equal to 59 into 10 into 109 into 60 divided by 2 into 96,500. So on simplifying, you will get 20. So that the correct option for question number 21 is option C, 20. Consider the half cell reduction reaction. Mn2 plus 2 electron gives rise to Mn with E naught value minus 1.18 volt. Mn2 plus gives rise to Mn3 plus electron. E naught value is minus 1.51 volt. The E naught for the cell reaction 3 Mn2 plus gives rise to Mn naught plus 2 Mn3 plus, and possibility of the forward reaction are respectively. Okay, let me consider. So here delta E naught, which is equal to E naught reduction plus E naught of oxidation. So minus 1.818 minus 1.51. So here on simplifying, you will get minus 2.69 volt. Since here delta E naught value is having negative value, so that delta G, change in Gibbs free energy, that is equal to minus NF E naught. Then delta G will be having positive value. So forward reaction is not possible. So that for question number 22, it's option A, minus 2.69 volt, and no, forward reaction is not possible because of a negative delta G naught value, delta E naught value. 23. When 0.1 mole MnO4 2 minus is oxidized, the quantity of electricity required to completely oxidize MnO4 2 minus to MnO4 minus is. So here we have to take the oxidation number of Mn on both the cases. Mn4 2 minus to MnO4 minus. So on calculating the oxidation state of manganese, here we have plus 6 oxidation state in MnO4 2 minus, and here in MnO4 minus it's plus 7. Then they have given when 0.1 mole of MnO4 to the power 2 minus is oxidized, the quantity of electricity required to completely oxidize. Okay. So here, the quantity of electricity required. Quantity of electricity required is, which is equal to 0.1 Faradays. So substitute 0.1 into Faraday's last constant, that is 96,500, which is equal to 9650 coulombs. So for question number 23, it's option C. 24. The weight of silver, atomic weight is 108, displaced by a quantity of electricity which displaces 5600 ml of O2 at STP will be. Okay, here for question number 24, we'll write WO2, which is equal to NO2 into 32. So how can we get this formula? So we know that number of moles is mass divided by molar mass. So mass of oxygen given is, we have to calculate that. And we know that molecular mass of oxygen, that is 32. So WO2, which is equal to, so electricity which displaces 5600 ml of O2. So 5600 divided by 22,400, because they have given the condition at STP. So at STP, 1 mole of 1 mole of gas contains 22,400 ml or 22.4 liters into 32. So I'm simplifying, you will get 8 gram, and 1 equivalent of O2, that is equal to 1 equivalent of Ag, that is 108. So for question number 24, it's option D, 108 gram. 25. A device that converts energy of combustion of fuels like hydrogen and methane directly into electrical energy is known as, we know that a device that converts energy of combustion of fuels directly into electrical energy is known as fuel cell. So that for question number 25, it's option D, fuel cells. 26. Aqueous solution of which of the following compound is the best conductor of electric current? Acetic acid C2H4O2, hydrochloric acid HCl, ammonia NH3, fructose C6H12O6. We know that HCl is completely dissociates to give H plus and Cl minus ions. Hence, which acts as a very good electrolyte or strong electrolyte, while others are non-electrolytes. So for question number 26, it's option B, HCl, because which completely ionizes to form H plus and Cl minus ion. 27. The pressure of H2 required to make the potential of hydrogen electrode zero in pure water at 298 Kelvin is. Here we have to write the reaction like 2H plus 2 electron gives rise to H2, and E cell, which is equal to E naught cell minus 0.0591 divided by 2 log pH2, pressure of H2 divided by concentration of H plus whole square. Then E cell will be 0. Here they have given H2 electrode 0. And E naught cell for standard hydrogen electrode is also 0. And 0.0295 log pH2 divided by concentration of H plus square, which gives Here it's 10 power minus 7 whole square. And I'm simplifying pH2 divided by 10 power minus 7 whole square, which is equal to 1. So that pH2, which is equal to 10 power minus 14 atmosphere. That is option A, 10 power minus 14 atmosphere. 28. Ionic mobility of which of the following alkali metal ions is lowest when aqueous solution of their salts are put under an electric field? So here we know that Li plus being smallest has a maximum charge density. Therefore, Li plus ion is most heavily hydrated among all alkali metal ions. So the effective size of Li plus ion in aqueous solution is therefore the largest. So most slowest under it moves slowest under the electric field. So for question number 28, it's option C. In the electrochemical cell, Zn bar ZnSO4, 2 bar CuSO4 bar Cu. The EMF of this Daniell cell is E1. When the concentration of ZnSO4 is changed to 1 molar and that of CuSO4 is changed to 0.01 molar, the EMF changes to E2. From the followings, which one is the relationship between E1 and E4? So it's given E4, it's not E4, it's E1 and E2. In question, it's E1 and E4. E1 and E2. Instead of E1 and E2, they have given E1 and E4. Okay, no problem. So for cell, they have given the representation of cell. If you consider E cell, which is equal to E naught cell minus 2.303 RT divided by NF log Zn2 plus concentration divided by Cu2 plus ion concentration. Then E1, which is equal to E naught cell minus 2.303 RT divided by 2 into F log 0.01 divided by 1. Then a concentration are changed for ZnSO4 and CuSO4, so that we can write E2, which is equal to E naught cell minus 2.303 RT divided by 2F into log 1 divided by 0.01. So that on equating these two equations, you will get E1, which is greater than E2. So for question number 29, it's option B. E1 is greater than E2. To make a correction, it's E1 and E2, not E4. So we have to find out the relationship between E1 and E2. So for this given data, the answer is E1 should be greater than E2. Okay. So students, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and please do share with your contacts. Thank you.